Ideas. What happens to our ideas once our minds have summoned them into existence?
And furthermore, what happens to those ideas once they are solidified, lovingly crafted, uploaded to be shared, and eventually deleted from existence? I guess those ideas become nothing more than memories. Memories of a time and place in the gaming landscape. Now, 1 year later, that's what I would like to talk about today. Memories of what once was. The end of life for online features of Littlebigplanet PSP. It isn't well reported how many levels were uploaded in this game, certainly many thousands, and as you might expect, a high percentage of those were, well, let's just say lacking polish. But there were creative makers out there that put forth excellent work, and I'm highlighting just a few of my favorites right now. Littlebigplanet for the PSP was released in November 2009, just over a year after its bigger brother debuted on the PS3. This is not a port of the original game, but a new adventure with nearly 40 all-new levels to explore. SCE Cambridge Studios made a few concessions in order to bring this game to much less powerful hardware, loss of multiplayer being chief among them. But what was not lost, however, was a robust creation mode, and the ability to share your creations with the world. Just like the PS3 version, people created tropes and memes, auto levels and adaptations of other games, but that ability is now gone, and if you attempt to sign on, you only receive an error message. Online features in our modern games have given us so much more than we had before, but by the same token, we now have so much more to lose. Unfortunately, after nearly 7 years, Sony decided it was time to take this game's servers down. As a collector, loss of gaming content is difficult to accept, as this happens over and over to the games I love. I try to rescue or document what I can and share the memories of what once existed. When going online in the final days, we were greeted with a message.
Hi creators, thanks for sharing your wonderful creations. Unfortunately, the servers must now take a permanent rest. On 7/31/16, they'll go offline, which means you'll no longer be able to share your creations. Before it happens, you might want to grab your favorite ones. Rest assured, you'll be able to continue exploring and building content offline to your heart's content. Thank you very much, the LBP PSP team.
I spent those last days downloading more levels until the game said I had reached my limit. I understand that nothing lasts forever. At some point in the future, it is inevitable that even the console Littlebigplanet games will lose their millions upon millions of creations. I shudder to think. And then, as promised, I felt a great disturbance in the imagosphere, as if millions of creations suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Thank you for joining me on this trip down memory lane. If you want to share any of your memories, feel free to add them to the comments. If you enjoyed this work, then you know what buttons to hit.